Hello viewers, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. I wanted to upload a reading on Australia today. We've had some attacks on our broadcasters here, on our press. We've had raids from our Australian Federal Police, and there are very significant concerns about the erosion of our press freedom here in Australia. Now, when Trump was elected in 2016, there were protests in Paris, and there was a sign that actually said, America, America, what have you done? And I feel it's a little bit like that in Australia with the federal election that has just been held, electing an LNP government led by Scott Morrison. Now, regardless of whichever way you vote, and I'm not going to get into the politics of it, I want to deal straight here with the raids on our Australian Broadcasting Corporation, our ABC television broadcaster, our government broadcaster, and also the raids on News Corp or news.com.au. So a particular journalist. Now, the stories that were covered did not involve a threat to our national security. They were critical of the government. They were critical of information being withheld. They concerned a plan potentially to spy on Australian citizens, and they also concerned allegations, I guess, of troops overseas Australian troops, and their actions potentially. Now, what has happened since is that the Australian Federal Police have raided the media outlets. The Minister, who is equivalent to your Cabinet Secretary of our Department of Homeland Security, has denied any knowledge of the raids. So I want to ask two questions today. I want to look at whether this government is attacking press freedom, and I also want to look at whether that minister knew about those raids beforehand by the Australian Federal Police. Okay. The second case concerned troop actions in Afghanistan, which involved harm to women and children and villages. Okay, so let's have a look. We'll give these cards a good shuffle because I've been reading about America. All right, is Australia's press freedom being threatened? Is Australia's press freedom being threatened? Australia's press freedom being threatened. Okay, so what I'm seeing is somebody offering something to someone. Is Australia's press freedom being threatened? Almost like a proposal's being put forward. So the signifier card is re-evaluation and management of a particular issue here. So this is behind the corridors of the public service. Perhaps we've got, and before I start, I should point out this is a tarot reading for entertainment purposes only. But let's have a look at what these tarot cards may bring forward. Signifier card, Seven of Pentacles, re-evaluation and management. This is suggesting that there could have been going back to the drawing board, for example, when the harvest was not being reached, or if the harvest was in danger of being realised, then it's back to the drawing board to see how one could improve one's chances. That is the signifier card. Challenged though by the Queen of Swords here. I'm going to the female journalist that was raided and evidence seized in both the raids into the ABC and into the News Corp journalist. Computers, emails, etc., everything was seized. But this journalist challenged the current government. challenged it with the truth. Okay, so journalists challenging the government with the truth, some kind of plan in motion to really reevaluate. Let's see what they were reevaluating. The King of Cups. Okay, this is the government itself wanting to come forward as a benign parent, somebody who is supportive. These matters that that instigated these raids were a challenge to this perception. There's also isolation in the past here, so that information isolated the government from its voters. Remember, one of the raids concerned a plan to effectively spy on Australians. Okay, and what's in the sky? We've got these Seven of Wands. We've got the government perhaps defending itself. Page of Pentacles, interesting. This is news, breaking news. So we're not done with this. Just as in America, you've got this groundswell of real concern about actions like this that threaten our press freedom. So you've got the news coming forward, and all of our major media holders have banded together into an alliance of sorts, and they're going to keep on this. They're going to keep chipping away at this. This government hasn't heard the last of it. Okay, so we've got the past here, and again the Six of Cups comes forward a lot in readings where we've got to worry about our security. We don't want attacks on our press freedom in Australia. Now, the environment around it, the deals that could have been done, the relationships, the collaborations, etc., that may have been done in the past in relation to these raids. That's the news that's going to be coming forward, and that concerns the Minister of Homeland Security, who is at the centre of this. Did he know about those raids beforehand? It's suggesting that news is going to be coming forward around that. Okay, so the hopes and fears, the Strength card, and any of you who watch my American readings will understand why this is coming forward. There are certain things that we won't tolerate, and we will not tolerate threats to our such blatant threats to our democracy. This is not a winner for this current government, and we've got the Page of Wands. Now, this came forward also as in the readings that I did prior to the election, suggesting that this page, while he may or she may not be mature, she's certainly on, or he's certainly on a quest here. What sort of quest is this? An inspired quest. We've also got the Queen of Pentacles. This is wanting security, wanting stability, wanting abundance too. At the end of the day, when people are jittery about attacks on democracy, they start to retreat. They start to worry about the economy. They start to become insecure. But we've got actually juggling and manipulation going on here. And what's at the end, or what's hidden from our view, is the Ace of Wands, suggesting that this matter, well, this is a yes card. Yes, it is under attack. Our press freedom is under attack. These raids go to the heart of that, and people want this dealt with, and they want it sorted out. And if I guess Australians are known for anything, we do things quite quickly and we don't muck about. The female journalist in particular threatened this government. So let's have a look at whether the Minister for Homeland Security knew about the raids beforehand. And I have to point out again that this is just a tarot reading. And it's for entertainment and purposes only. Okay. It was allowing the Australian Signals Directorate, which is a government department agency, to spy on citizens without a warrant. The story said the spying would happen with the approval of the Minister for Home Affairs. Sorry, I said Homeland Security. I'm thinking of the American equivalent. Would happen with the approval of the Minister for Home Affairs, and the Defence Minister. The plan was secret and it was reported, it was very clearly in the national interest. Very dangerous giving that sort of power over to a minister or to two ministers. Now, this goes to the heart of the matter. Did the Minister for Home Affairs know about the raids? The woman was the threat for this minister, the Queen of Swords. Let's have a look. Okay, let's have a look at whether the Minister for Home Affairs, which is a department modelled on your Homeland Security, did the Minister for Home Affairs know about the raids beforehand? Did the Minister for Home Affairs know about the raids beforehand? My spirit guides are telling me he did. All right, so we've got the Knight of Wands suggesting this was an inspired plan. And what was the challenge to the inspired plan was it was not victorious. So it's not going to be victory. It's not going to be victory for them. Okay, we are too worried about our press freedom. Here is our Queen of Swords. Here, the challenge indeed. The challenge indeed was the female journalist. What we've got in the past is an abuse of power. Somebody abused their power. We asked, did the Minister for Home Affairs know about this particular raid beforehand? And we've got the Five of Swords suggesting, this is also the card of the bully. It's also, as I said, abuse of power. What's in the sky is the Ten of Wands suggesting this is a heavy load this minister's going to carry. It's showing that news could emerge around this that actually showed that he did know in advance, or that he could have potentially known in advance. So we've got the immediate future with the Knight of Swords, something, the truth is going to come forward. Ace of Pentacles, currently we've got new starts here. Ace of Pentacles, new starts. And we've got the environment around is the Star of Hope. It's interesting, I read so prolifically on America, that the Star of Hope comes forward when the dawn, it's always darkest, isn't it, before that dawn. I feel that there are some similarities in this situation when we've got an attack on press freedom. Interesting, the Ten of Pentacles coming forward in the hopes and fears. I feel this is the media organisations themselves. Of course, one of them is Rupert Murdoch. The media is not going to let this ride because they don't want their wealth threatened, basically. And we've got the Hanged Man suggesting that this minister, the Minister for Home Affairs, is going to be ineffective in trying to stop or control this situation. Giving and receiving help is being suggested here. And we've got loss for this minister. What's underneath is judgment, something coming to an end. He is being judged. So look, this reading is suggesting potentially he could have known about this beforehand, and that there's going to be more on this in the near future. So I'm going to finish up now, viewers. It's been a long morning of readings. I hope that you have enjoyed them. I wanted to get a few readings up today, so that we can actually keep up to date with what's going on, including in Australia. So thank you again for all your support, and I'll see you again soon.